Hello everyone. In this lesson I want to show you not just how, but why you would set up a blank template. Let's jump into the action. So imagine I want to create a new page on my website, but maybe I don't want the exact page template. So for example, if you go to the About Us page, maybe I don't want it to use the same template, the page.html template that all my other pages use. Maybe I want sort of an empty canvas to work with. So let's do this. Let's go into the dashboard and let's add a brand new page. So under Pages, I'll click Add New. I'll say My Cool Landing Page. And I'll just have a paragraph that says Lorem Ipsum. Now notice in this right-hand area, not under the block menu, but if you actually click on the overall page menu right here, and we look down a little bit, here we see Template. So you can click on that and then choose which template you want this page to use. Now, it lists all of the standard templates, and in my opinion, none of these would make sense, right? It's not like we'd want to use the single program or single professor template for a landing page. But what if right now we go add a new template file in our theme that's just sort of empty? Let me explain. So in our text editor, in the templates folder, let's just create a brand new file, and I'll name it empty canvas.html. Well, just to be clear here, I made up this name. There's nothing special about the name. You could literally name the file anything you want. It's not as if it needs to be a specific name to show up in that template chooser menu. But anyways, in this new file, the only block we need to include is obviously any content that the user adds here, right? So if they have a paragraph, and then below that, if they added a list or a heading, red, orange, yellow, right? Any sort of content they add, we want to include that. Let me go ahead and actually save that so I don't lose the content that I just added. But back in our text editor, we would just have a block that looks like this. So an HTML comment, right? That's how Gutenberg works. In the comment, it would just be WP post-content. And then a / here for a self-closing tag, and that's it. Go ahead and save that. And then back in the editor, let's refresh this editor. That's why I saved my content up in the top right. I don't want to lose this little bit of sample content. So if I refresh, now under the page menu here, under page template, if I choose, it's falling off the bottom of the screen, but there it is, empty canvas. And click Update, and then actually go view that page on the front end. As you might have guessed, it's completely empty. Now, yes, if the user is just adding paragraphs and lists like this, it will look horrible, right? This isn't going to win any design awards. However, let's not forget that they can add our custom block types. So, for example, let me remove this list. And let me change the paragraph to be, / If I start typing for banner, our custom banner block. And then inside of that, I'll add a generic heading, my custom page, and then below that, I could add either a slideshow or the events and blogs block. The idea is any of the blocks that you've created, those are available in addition to the default blocks. So maybe I'll say events and blogs. I can give that a save or update that, refresh the front end. Cool. So notice we didn't even have to include the header or the footer. So I'm a big fan of this empty template idea. I think it really shows the power of the block editor. Now, if someone wanted to include the heading up here, they could just insert a new block type, maybe before the banner. So insert before. We don't want it to be a paragraph, so /, and then if I search for, Fictional University header, I could save that and refresh. Now we do indeed have the header. So the idea though is that the user is in control of what they're building, piece by piece, block by block. And the idea is that now it's not a per template basis, it can even be a per page or per post basis. And just right now as I'm filming this, I just came up with an extra credit idea. If you wanted to, you could adjust our header block, you could turn it into a JSX powered block, and maybe you could have a little drop down or checkbox here that asks, do you want to include the top left logo? Yes or no? So they could choose yes or no, and then that would control the output, right? Do you actually display this logo or not? So the point is there's no limit to how much you want to customize your blocks and how many different blocks you want to create. However, in terms of educational value and, unique concepts, I believe this chapter has come to a close. I encourage you to try and come up with a few new ideas for blocks and go experiment and create them. Using all the concepts from this chapter, I believe the sky is the limit in terms of what you can create. As for our block theme, well, we've completed it. We've set up some features that are fully interactive. For example, adding, headers and buttons and links and uploading different background images, as well as our slideshow. And we've also learned sort of the more traditional placeholder block approach that I'm a big fan of. Altogether, I think you now have all the tools in your toolbox to go create amazing block themes. Thank you so much for working through this chapter with me, and take care.